approval of our minutes when committee members have had a chance to review. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Item number 1 under new business is approval of a minor public works contract with Chip Griffith Construction for office renovations. The total is $3,850. Tim, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So this work is funded by Facilities Maintenance Outside Services account, and it is to modify a lobby space within the IT suite and turn it into a private office.
Y'all are getting uptown down there, aren't you?
Well, we're trying to create space for employees.
The good thing is if we're getting uptown, that's not a bad price to go uptown with in my book, but that's just me.
Motion.
Second.
We got a motion, a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 1 is approved. Item number 2 is approval of a minor public works contract with Chip Griffith Construction for amphitheater building F modifications. The total $6,270. Tim.
All right, so Building F is the building where the event staff is located, their offices. And this is funded by the AMP repairs and maintenance budget. And so we're going to modify the interior space and create a private office and get the manager, Nicole, out of the bullpen area.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2 is approved. Thank you, Tim. Item number 3 is an update on our neighborhood drainage projects. Case, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm probably not the most familiar face, so I will reintroduce myself, I guess, very quickly. I work in OCE under Mike. I'm in charge primarily of managing our floodplain program as well as our stormwater program for the city. My hand is kind of in environmental permitting in general throughout the city. I work with airport and other facilities to help maintain 8M compliance with FEMA, and our standing in the CRS program as it relates to floodplain management. OCE just wanted to give kind of an update on projects that have been funded out of neighborhood drainage. What's next? Oh, I'm there, okay. So this first list is 2 slides. These are projects that we've presented previously you should be familiar with. This is several that have been completed projects and then sort of a status update on those that are underway currently. We can run through these one at a time if you'd like. The YMCA project, we're working with OCA to move forward with the buyout of a property that has flooded at times with significant rainfall just across the road.
1 or 2?
I believe that's just one property.
Currently just 1.
Just one under our current funding. We can talk about additional properties maybe outside of the meeting if you'd like. And then for Oakdale drainage, I know we spoke earlier, Councilman Wilson.
Yes, we did.
Phase 1 of that project has been completed. We'll be doing phase 2 in the spring. All of the right-of-way for that portion has been acquired, and phase 3 is kind of to be determined, but it's ongoing. Eastover drainage study has been completed. We can't move forward with the engineering construction of that project until we get more funding identified for the solution that's been outlined in that drainage study.
Well, it's needed.
It's needed, yeah. All of these are needed.
Yes.
Well, and we understand that. We're just kind of doing what we can with the funding that we have. We both, I know, rely on each other to identify these priorities. So meeting like we did today with Councilor Wilson, we met with Ms. Howard earlier in the week. That helps us put kind of the next foot forward to some of these solutions. And a lot of these projects with check marks, I have some pictures just to kind of show to demonstrate the improvement. Gates of Wellington was a simple repair we did. Selvins Group, Ronnie Hatfield led that project. It's been completed. Woodridge Road also completed very recently. Bell Construction has been finished. 10th and 9th Street drainage. That study has been completed and similar.
19th Street?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And similar to Eastover, the study is done, but we're going to have to secure more funding before we move forward with any design or engineering for that.
Where is, back up please, where is that exactly? So 10th Avenue, 19th Street, that's
About 3 blocks
up
south.
on a hill, isn't
You're
it?
past St. John's Baptist.
Just past it, so,
Start working towards the old Mac Bait Shop.
okay. That's the new Max Bait Shop. The old Max Bait Shop was on 13th
That's
Street.
correct.
The old new Max Base Shop.
Okay, so that,
Yes, sir.
and it runs, that's Ravens District, I guess.
Yes, sir.
How much,
$6 million.
west, east? Does, I mean, I now know where you're talking about. How spread out east-west is it?
So,
It goes down to is it Bonita Drive?
Bonita Terrace.
Bonita
Yeah,
Terrace.
So from that localized flooding where we have road closures, when we have the heavy rain events, that storm water system drains basically south and west, little southwesterly. It runs through an apartment complex it gets to Hargrove Road.
Okay.
Goes to the south side of Hargrove Road, turns and runs west, and eventually ends up on the east side of Bonita Terrace, flows south in that large ditch, and eventually ends up running west, south of Fitz Industries, and on past the railroad and into Moody Swamp.
Okay.
Yeah, the main issue's been flooding in the intersection right there off of 10th. So a high traffic area, obvious problem. This second slide, these are more projects. Gaineswood has been completed. We'll look at a picture from that project. 715th Street, that's the Houndstooth condominiums. That's going to be clean out of that triple barrel culvert I know you're familiar with, Councilman Busby. And then Academy Drive, we have 3 separate components. The first of this has been completed. This was a relining of some failed corrugated metal pipe. That's been done. We've estimated a cost of $150 to repair, not reline, but repair another failed section of pipe under Fredericksburg. And then we do have a proposal in hand from McGifford that's currently under review in OCE.
That's for a drainage study of the entire area.
Basic.
Yeah, for that sub-basin of that neighborhood.
We've had a flooding problem.
And then the Parkside neighborhood, just south of the interstate, there was a project to rehabilitate the curbing around a cul-de-sac there to help push water through there to a yard inlet. We got a picture of that. And 415 Hargrove is at the Church Without Walls. There's some sinkholes that have developed near storm infrastructure, and this project will help repair that as well, move water more quickly through the system, right, Mike? All right, so these are,
So will you back up 2 slides, please?
Yes,
So the limiting feature is money, is that correct?
number 1 limiting feature.
All right, so there's 2.4, there's another 6.8. You're pushing 8 or 9 million, and there's 1.4 left now.
Correct.
So you're 7, somewhere in the 7s
We're a little
short
short.
of doing what's identified as needing to be done.
Yeah, and you'll see a little further on in the slide, we have kind of programmed that 1.4 with needs that we've already identified. They're typically smaller dollar value repairs or enhancements, but let him get on through here and you'll
Okay.
see. And I'm just saying that's because I
No,
don't
that's
think you
fair
can
enough.
subtract that 1.4 from what you were just adding.
Yeah, and like I said, these are just pictures. The 3 ditches in Oakdale will all look similar to this once they're completed. This is at the Gates of Wellington neighborhood to intercept that water sheet flowing off that hill, help those neighbors in that area. This was at Bell Construction. Area on the north and south side of the project was rehabilitated. That picture on the right I took from the parking lot, and it helps just expedite water more quickly off of that
That,
parcel. So
they
that-
had to redo their whole parking lot because of the water at one time.
Yeah, they had a lot of issues develop because of the amount of water and standing water in the parking lot. So this was a much needed repair. This is the Gaineswood French Drain, and if you've been out there, this sidewalk used to be covered in algae and was slicker than you know what, I'll just say that. Since that time, Ronnie's crew went out, they did a gravel under drain, to intercept that water and move it out to the curb. And you can see in the picture how effective that has been with the water moving through the curb and the roadway instead of over the sidewalk. And then finally, this was that Parkside project. And it's worth mentioning here, this cul-de-sac will be redone as part of the resurfacing contract when that time rolls around this summer. Now, as far as what's next, these are the main priorities that we've identified. And this is where that money we saw earlier, basically 1.4, that's where we think this money needs to go. And we kind of want your thoughts and feelings regarding that. You should be familiar with most of these projects already.
Well, I'm assuming there's some element of shooting the ones you can eat. I mean,
Yeah, there's a
we got some
low
big things that
hanging
need
fruit
attention,
factor.
but 1.4 is not going to impact them. These are the ones that can be eaten a bite at a time.
Yes, sir. That's part of it, and some of it is the condition of some of the items here on this list merit quicker attention. For
But they're
example,
addressable with the amounts of money that is there to be used.
that is correct. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's a good update as far as I'm concerned.
Now, 36th Avenue East, is that down there by the lake?
That's what I was
I
asking.
mean, I know it's washing away up toward the road from the lake. Is that what that is?
So that is the that is a corrugated metal pipe that is under the road. If you know where the little piece is that Springbrook owns, Spring Lake owns, it comes under the road there. That pipe is in poor condition. We want to get that repaired before it fails, and then you have to close the road.
At some point, we need to keep an eye on where that is eroding going up to the road from the lake. I don't know if y'all have been, I went out there, it's been a couple of years.
This
but
is on the, closer to the dam, or you still?
It's down toward the dam, before you get to turn, I'm trying to think. It's sort of across from those apartments there.
We'll just take a visit out there.
Let me know.
Mike, in case, I just wanted to tell y'all how much I appreciate the time that you guys spend on these, because I do think politics gets involved in everything, and I get that. But part of this is these are need-based. These are things that are ready to go, and I want people to know this mayor and council have been laserly focused on cleaning up a lot of issues that I think have probably sat there too long. And I think everyone would agree on that. And it's all about money, and we've had a lot of issues, but the city is very focused on cleaning this stuff up. And I think the council was gonna work with the mayor to find more money to put into things like this, because some of these things have been on there for several years, and we need to get rid of them. And move on to some bigger projects, because there are some pretty big deals that we need to figure out a way to tackle long-term, that, they're pretty expensive.
Right.
But I like the fact that it's kind of like on the paving deals too. I know my paving list was huge. Well, we've made a lot of progress on that in 3 years. And and I think that's, focusing on this as a group, I think has changed the narrative of this, in my opinion. And I appreciate what engineering does to bring light to this stuff. And I would encourage my colleagues, if you're not having regular meetings with them, that you should, because that's the way you see these priorities and you see what's going on, because there's a lot of pending projects that are out there now. So, and I appreciate you guys for what you do.
I meet every 3 weeks.
Me too.
I meet once a month.
Ditto, gang, I do appreciate. Will you flip back to the first slide for just a second? So on the YMCA basin piece.
Yeah.
Really, if we're making progress on the acquisition, I think it's gonna end up being 2 properties on the south side of the YMCA. And if we get that done, the bleeding stopped. I mean, we still got a problem, all right? But we don't have a problem that's filling people's homes with water. The bigger problem, last time it was cited what was the price tag swimming around on that thing?
If I remember right, it
11?
was
About
11.
11 million.
11 million?
Yes.
And that's the full 80-acre basin, right?
Yeah, and that included, I think, some, quite a bit of pipe rehab, out in the fringes, I guess, of the basin, along with,
I think it included a reestablishing a north-south culvert from about 14th Street to Government Plaza
yes,
that's.
sir.
like
Yeah,
a
that
culvert.
is true, that extension of that large
All right,
box
but
culvert.
again, I echo what Councilman Crowe said. If we get those properties whose residents are filling up, then the bleeding stopped and we can deal with the larger problem. But I'm glad to see there's check marks going on those properties getting taken care of. And then, we've still got the church on the north side. The street is what floods. Fortunately, the church is not flooding, but if they're parked there, there are. So good. It's forward movement. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to be brought before this committee today? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Our next Public Projects Committee meeting will be next Tuesday, February 13th. All in favor